In C# programming, methods are essential building blocks that allow you to organize your code and perform specific tasks. One of the fundamental aspects of using methods is understanding how to pass information into them and how to retrieve results. In this lesson, we will explore method parameters, return values, and how they work together to create efficient and reusable code. Don't worry if this feels new at first. Now we're on understanding method parameters. Method parameters are variables that you define in a method's signature. They allow you to pass data into methods so that the method can process that data. Each parameter has a type and a name, and they're specified within the parentheses in the method declaration. The samples on screen walk through this step. Take a moment to read through them. In the example above, the method displayMessage accepts a single parameter of type string named message. When you call this method, you must provide a string argument, which will be displayed in the console. Let's move on to calling methods with parameters. To use a method with parameters, you need to call it and provide the necessary arguments. Here's how you can call the displayMessage method. See the example. On this slide, pause if you want to study the details. In this example, the string hello, C# world, is passed to the displayMessage method as an argument, and it will output the message to the console. This section covers return values in methods. Methods can also return values. A return value is the result that a method produces after processing data. To define a return value, specify the return type in the method declaration. If a method doesn't return a value, its return type should be void. The samples on screen walk through this step. Take a moment to read through them. In this example, the method addNumbers takes two parameters of type int and returns their sum as an int. When you call this method, you can capture its return value in a variable. Next, using return values. To use the result from a method that returns a value, you can store the return value in a variable. Here's how to call the addNumbers method and use its return value. See the example on this slide. Pause if you want to study the details. In this case, the method addNumbers is called with the arguments 5 and 10, and the result is stored in the variable result. The console then outputs 15. This section covers method parameters and return values together. Combining method parameters and return values allows you to create powerful functions that perform operations based on input and provide output. Here's a complete example that uses both. The samples on screen walk through this step. Take a moment to read through them. In this example, calculateArea takes a double parameter for the radius and returns the area of a circle. The displayArea method calls calculateArea, captures the return value, and prints it to the console. In this lesson, we covered the following key points. First, method parameters allow you to pass information into methods. Also, return values enable methods to send results back to the caller. Finally, combining parameters and return values facilitates complex operations. Now put what you've learned into practice. First, write a method called multiplyNumbers that takes two integers as parameters and returns their product. Also, create a method displayProduct that calls multiplyNumbers and displays the result. Also, implement a method convertToFahrenheit that takes a Celsius temperature as a parameter and returns the equivalent Fahrenheit temperature. Finally, write a method displayTemperatureConversion that displays the temperature in both Celsius and Fahrenheit.